Hey lovelies, and Happy New Year. I believe I've had a video go up in the new year, but technically this is the very first video I have filmed in 2023, and what better way to start off the new year than with a swatch party. So I'm very excited to share with you the few shadows that I picked up from the Pastel Roses recently. We're going to do swatches, of course, as you can tell by my naked face, we're gonna go ahead and play with them today. But if we have not met before, my name is Kelly and I'm a professional hair and makeup artist, and here on my channel I strive to keep beauty real. Real honest, real relatable, and real fun. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, don't forget to click subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. I'm excited to dive into these. I purchased from the Pastel Roses, I think it's just one other time. It might have been twice, but I think it was once, and it was quite a while ago. I probably should have looked at my video to see when this was, but I do believe that since I did my last swatch party, they have really upped their game. I feel like the brand has really improved formulas. They've had many things come out over the past, I would say it's probably been a year, maybe even more than a year since I purchased from the brand. And I just keep seeing things hit my little makeup lover's heart on Instagram, and I finally decided that now was the time. I think that the order that I did from the Pastel Roses, they had brought out the hollow glitters. That was when like hollow glitter was just starting. I got my Pastel Roses ones first, and then I think I did Glam Shop, and you know, that was like the thing of the times. What we're gonna do is we're gonna compare some of the formulas from before to some of the formulas that I picked up now, in case you're like me and you didn't order back then and you're like, okay, how's the brand doing now? What do I think? And I'm excited to compare those for you. I'm really excited to try these out because they are very beautiful. So without further ado, let's go ahead and zoom in and we'll get this swatch party going. Now, very quickly, for those of you that haven't ordered from the brand, I just wanted to show you how they come packaged. They come in this little like pillow envelope, and inside you have the shadow, which there is not one in here, and then the little foam piece that protects it. And then there's also a little bit of like tissue paper in here to pad it as well. So they come very well wrapped. There was lots of tissue paper, lots of bubble wrap. Nothing in this order was damaged at all. Now I did go ahead and split this order with a fellow makeup lover just to kind of save on shipping, because obviously coming from the UK, the shipping was a bit pricey. So I think we purchased around 15 or 16 shadows, and to ship those, it was about 16 pounds. Now, of course, since this is a brand in the UK, you will be paying in pounds. So that was roughly $19.30 according to the conversion rate right now. I also want to say, and I do remember this from my last order, they did include a free gift. It was kind of interesting because on the invoice it just said eyeshadow free gift. Now this came just in this little plastic mailer. It didn't have a foam protector at all or the little pillow. It's a very pretty shadow. Let me see if I can show you here. It's just this like little, it's almost like a lavender taupey gold. The thing about this is there's no name on the back. So honestly, I kind of wonder, I'm really sort of kind of wondering if this is just like remnants. It's just like pigment remnants that they just like made into random shadows that they don't actually sell. I'm not sure. Now, I'm actually not going to swatch this one because I am going to pass this along to my friend, and honestly it doesn't really matter because I don't know what the shadow is and you probably can't get it anyway, but I just wanted to say it was a nice little freebie, just a nice little touch. But let's get into the ones that I am going to swatch for you and we can see them in all of their majesty. So I went ahead and got 8 shadows, and I really think that that was a good landing point for me. I went through and I tried to be pretty curated in what I picked out. I tried to pick out shades that would be somewhat different than what I had, and also be able to try a few of the different Pastel Roses formulas just so that I could give you my opinion. So we're gonna dive into these. I do have, like I said, a couple different formulas. There are some newer shadows. They recently came out with some beautiful multi-chromes. There are some duochromes in here. I also have an opal multi-chrome in here. So we've got lots of things to get into. Let's get swatching. Oh, this is really convenient. So the Pastel Roses on their site, I'm on here just so that I can see the different categories. They do actually have, I think because I'm in the US, they do show the price in pounds and then also in US dollars. So that is great. So we're gonna start off with this shadow Carrot Cake. This is a very Kelly color. It's definitely that like peachy tone. I'm hoping that you're able to pick it up on the camera, but it is this mix of, it's almost, I don't want to say like a marbled shadow, but it looks like, you know, quartz or granite. It's got a mix of like a pearly pink and a gold and like an orange shade. It looks really pretty. So we're gonna go ahead and give this one a swatch. Now, as always, I'm just swatching on dry, bare skin. There was just something about this one that just looked so pretty, and obviously in the pan, it looks really pretty. Ugh, I feel like this is one that's like really hard to show on my skin. Let me see. You can kind of see a little bit right there. It's very pretty. I mean, it is blending in so close to my skin right now. I mean, this shade is actually quite pretty. It just has a nice little like luminous glimmer to it. It's nothing like overly like blow my skirt up kind of shade, but it is a very pretty one. And it was $3.50, so it is on sale. It was about 30% off. I mean, for $3.50, I'm really happy with that. That's, you know, right around the price of like a Pretties for Your Face shadow when it's on sale, so I'm definitely okay with this. I just, again, wanted to pick up a few of the formulas. Okay, I thought that I had one shade that was listed as a duochrome, but I don't. They're all either the multi-chromes or the opal multi-chrome. So we're gonna move into the opal. Now, honestly, I think I might have duped something in my collection. I will definitely pull out some similar swatches if I have anything that's similar to any of these. Even like for the carrot cake, I might have a Glam Shop one. But this is Opal Aurora. This is probably one that you won't even be able to see in the pan here. Obviously, with these like, you know, translucent multi-chromes, it can get very hard to show them in the pan, but hopefully we can get some decent lighting and I'll be able to show you in some swatches. Yep, I already have a couple that I'm thinking of right off the bat with this. Ooh, wow, but that's very, very pretty. Let me go ahead and bring this in so that you can see. So you can see there, we've got that like yellow gold, almost a hint of green into that like reddish pink. Definitely not necessarily a unique shade. I will pull out some swatch comparisons, but I mean, oh, look, there you go. You can really see right there like that shift. I mean, this is really nice. This was, or right now it's listed as $13.31. It's 15% off right now. So depending on when you catch a sale, what's on sale, oh, but look at that. That's very, very pretty. Okay, our first multi-chrome. Are you surprised? It's a green. This is Dragonfly. You all know that I have been on the search for the perfect green to pink shift. I don't know if I'm ever gonna find it. I don't know exactly what I'm looking for, but I haven't found one yet that's like the perfect one. Ooh, this looks really pretty. Okay, so I think that you can kind of see right here, if I get it on that shift. I've lowered the lighting down quite a bit just so that we could see it. You can see that more intense green and then the pink and the yellow. Like it's definitely that pink and goldy yellow. Maybe even right here too, you can see that green, you've got the yellow and the pink. I have to say right off the bat, let me see what it looks like with, yeah, I'm trying to like catch this as much as I can for you, and I feel like they're getting a bit, I mean, the thing is I don't feel like they're getting that washed out. It's that they look more intense in the pan. Maybe not that much more intense. It's just, these are a bit drier formula, so they're not that like thicker, creamier, like glide on kind of feel that I feel like can lend itself to some of that intensity. But this could also mean that it's not going to be creasy, you know, it's not going to make like a hot mess, and maybe it'll stay put for the day. Now, the multi-chromes right now are on sale for 15% off, and it looks like they're all around $13. It's actually $13.31. I'll let you know if anything is priced differently, but this is at that same price. Ooh, this one's a beauty. She is Lure. Oh, look at that. I mean, fire. I just love this. This would have been a good one to have for the fall, but you know, maybe if I'm feeling roasty toasty, or if I'm feeling like I've got a fiery personality one day, I can use this one. I will say that they do have a bit of flake to them. They aren't super flaky. They're like kind of like mildly flaky. Oh, look at that. You can see how beautiful. I mean, look at that. I have a feeling that this is going to be a formula that I'm going to want to use a glitter glue with, because like as I was just swiping it, I don't know if you could see in the picture, but like stuff was falling. It's like flaky. I bet I probably have some sparkle in my coffee now. Yeah, I feel like just to see the intensity of these, we're probably gonna need to use a glitter glue. I don't use a glitter glue all that often just because it's another step in the makeup process, but I can definitely do it if it's gonna make these pop a little bit more. Okay, this is probably the one that I was most excited for. This is the shade Choco Pink, which is so interesting because it's like, it definitely has a bit of a chocolate vibe to it, but it also has like a green. The pink is more subtle. It's like, it's green and pink and almost like a grayed out brown. It's very unique, I think. Watch, I find something that I'm already duping myself in my collection. Watch as I like go through and I'm looking for dupes, maybe I can like dupe myself, but I don't think so. I don't think I have anything like this one. The shift in this is definitely subtle. I will say that these are a slightly more subtle shifting shade. I mean, you can kind of see it there. It's almost like a je ne sais quoi shade. And I'm sorry, I've got my like center light turned down pretty far just so that we can hopefully see the shift. Here you go. You can kind of see like it's got that more taupey, like I said, like a grayed out brown base. And then you've got the pink and a little bit of that green. But it's definitely more subtle. It's not like the shiftiest of the shifts, but I do like the opacity level that we're getting here. This is going to be a pretty one to use. Okay, you might be quite shocked, but I did pick up a blue purple. Look at me go. It's Midnight Nova from Divina. It just made me want to try all the blue purples. So this looks to be a blue purple with like a teal reflect to it. Now, as I'm looking at the thumbnail of this picture, I think that they might have gotten this one wrong. I think they might have put the wrong little like swatch, because the picture shows it as like almost like a green into a red shift, and I don't see that at all on here. That's very weird. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. Ooh, that's really pretty. Again, I feel like these are a bit more subtle because of, ooh, sorry, I'm getting distracted by the shine. I think that these are a bit more subtle because of the, you know, slightly thinner, slightly drier texture. Oh, look at that. It's like a very subtle rainbow. I mean, here, it almost looks like a slightly translucent rainbow. That is really pretty. I don't think it's showing up on the camera as like shifty as it is. When we do the zoom in, I will definitely try to let it live its best life. Yeah, on my camera right now, it's just not picking up the vibrancy of that like green and blue purple. But it is very lovely. Hopefully I'll be able to get it in the up close swatches. Now we have one more shade, and this one looks to be gorgeous. This is the shade Lagoon Nebula. Look at her, so pretty. Go ahead and pop this up just a little bit, just so you can get some of that vibrancy right in the center. Oh, I mean, this really looks like a magenta to green. Honestly, what this sort of reminded me of is when I was doing that, when I was doing Dupe the Vibes of the Hollow Bean palette, I felt like this had a little bit more of that shift, like the one shade that I couldn't quite get the same. It's not quite as shifty, but it definitely has some of the vibes. It's definitely more of like, again, I'm just gonna say it again, like all of these are a slightly more subtle shift because of the formula. So here you can see a finger swatch. This definitely has a darker, murkier base. I have a feeling that, no, if you blend it out, you still see some of that dark base, but you get a lot of the like shine still. So that's really pretty. That's gonna be a fun one to use. This one definitely looks more metallic. I just feel like on the arm, they aren't looking quite as poppy as what they do in a finger swatch. So hopefully that means that I can get them to look more like this on the eye with the glitter glue. Oh, hold on. Hold on before we do the up close. I just realized I was like, I feel like I had one more to swatch. I do. This is Love Story. This is considered one of their pastel duochromes. So here is this one. I probably could have skipped on this one. Now, it could have been their Instagram swatches that made me get this one. Now, when I got it on sale, it was about an $8 shadow. Right now it's listed as $9.22. This is definitely one, I mean, I'll be honest, this is one that I could have skipped. I feel like I have things that are kind of similar. It has, you know, that, again, that peachy to greeny flip to it. It's cute. It's cute. I think it's going to be a nice little like inner corner pop, but it has a lot of more of like a green reflect to it. I think I was trying to get something that didn't have quite that green to it. So I think that this might end up being one that ends up being prettier on the eye than I think it's going to be. Like, it's sort of underwhelming right now, but let's go ahead and now we'll do the zoomed in looks. Okay, here is a low light look at all of these shades. You can see the shift a bit more, but it is pretty subtle. Like, I'm hoping that this isn't going to be one of those shadows that you have to just like nail. You know, when you see these swatches online and you're like, ooh, beautiful, but it's like they just had the one most optimum spot of lighting to really be able to showcase them, because, I mean, how often does it happen on the eyes? There you go, you can kind of see a bit more. I mean, again, you can see some beautiful shift and shimmer, some glow in these ones. I just think we're gonna have to pull out the glitter glue, y'all. All right, I think what I'm gonna do is film 2 looks for you, because I really want to get a feel for these shadows, use a few of them, and I with multi-chromes or duochromes or anything very shifty, you just can't see the beauty of it if it's on, like, you know, a fourth of the eyelid. So I'm really gonna try to showcase some of these. That also means that I'm gonna have to do another look at a later time. You'll see it right in this video, but I have to film an intro and an outro for a video I did for the Paul Mitchell YouTube channel, and I can't have 2 different eye looks. So I'm gonna go ahead and dive into that. I'm just going to put on some music, zoom through these. I will give you my thoughts on the performance at the end, let you know if I feel like they were worth the money, let you know if I would consider purchasing from them in the future. Fingers crossed. I'm feeling a little let down by the swatches, but hopefully they perform well on the eyes. Let's get into it. All right, really quickly, I just wanted to give you some of my thoughts on this look. I only used 2 of the shades, which I think really, I mean, looking at this combo of shades that I got, it's not exactly the most cohesive set of shades. And I'm happy with the look that turned out. I'm actually pleasantly surprised. So that Choco Pink shade, as you saw, I used the Glam Shop Glam Glue. This I like because it's slightly wet and tacky, and so I thought that that would be a good combination. I used the Angie Hot and Flashy 505 from BK Beauty, and I did end up wetting my brush, but honestly, that was almost to just like help keep the product on as I tapped it on. And if you saw, I really did just sort of like more tap the shade on at first to lay it down, and then once I had the pigment placed, then I sort of, you know, kind of did like a little side to side to like press it in. I think that that worked really well. I'm very happy with the look of it. I mean, now I feel like, oh, this is what I was expecting from this shadow. It's very pretty. Again, it's like that combination of like gray brown and taupe, and then you have that like slightly green and then that pink shift. So it's really pretty. I think that obviously this is more of like a subtle multi-chrome again, but it is something that I think if you were like, ooh, I like something that's got a little difference to it, but I don't like it to look like there's a rainbow across my eye, this might be a good pick for you. On my inner corner, I went through with the Carrot Cake shade, and I did only use a wet brush, no glitter glue. And actually, using a wet brush really helped enhance it. It almost got a little bit too much on my inner corner, like it got really metallic. So I went through with a dry brush and just tried to like buff that out a little bit. I really like this look. Obviously, the Dollhouse mattes always work great. Can I just say, it breaks my heart a little bit. I'll probably end up mentioning this in a video, but it breaks my heart a little bit. I have forgotten about my Blend Bunny palettes for a while because they're big. They're too tall to sit in my drawers, and they're underneath my vanity then. They're like underneath, you know, where like the chair rolls in. And I just forget to use them. I just forget to use them, and that breaks my heart because I really do love them a lot. So that's a goal for this year, is to start using those a little bit more. But that was why I wanted to pull this out, because I was like, oh, I feel like there are some shades in here that will work well, and I know that I love these mattes, so I thought that it would be a good way to use something new as well. So anyway, we're not here for Blend Bunny, we're here for the Pastel Roses. All right, so now let's move into the second look, and I'll give you my final thoughts and whether or not I would end up purchasing from this brand again.
You needed me,
right, lovelies, here we have our final look. I have to say, I was a little bit skeptical going into this because the swatches were not giving me life at all, but this is evidently just one of those formulas that you have to use a glitter glue to really get the wham bam out of. And while I don't love having to have an extra step in my makeup process, if I get this result, I'm okay with doing that. So I did actually, honestly, I cannot remember the last time I used a glitter glue, and I did actually enjoy the experience of it. So maybe this is something that will be 2023 Kelly makeup application. It'll be glitter glue all the time. So I just wanted to give you an up close peek at this look. I did get 3 of the shades that I bought into this look. I don't know if this is like a normal combination that I would go for, but I really actually like it. I think it turned out great. So sometimes, you know, having to use a small amount of shadows to try to like look at them and see how they perform really pushes you out of your box. Now, I don't know if this is a color combo that I would have normally gone for. I was hoping to see a bit more of the green in Dragonfly, but I think that part of it is the when I was using that Blend Bunny transition shade, I kind of blended it down further. And I think that part of it is just that like that's the base underneath this shadow, and that's fine. You still do get just a little whisper of it, but I actually feel like I see a bit more green coming from Opal Aurora when when the light isn't hitting it. So that's kind of an interesting effect, but I really do like this look. I think it came out great. So now really quickly, speaking of Opal Aurora, I am gonna go and swatch a couple other shadows to see if I do have, because that's like the one that I feel like I might have a dupe for in here for sure. So I'm just gonna do a couple quick comparisons. If I can see anything in here, I might have some Dragonfly dupes too. We'll have to see, but I'm gonna do that really quick and then I'll give you all my final thoughts. All right, well, I just dug through my whole collection and maybe I'm missing what I'm thinking of, but I couldn't find anything. I couldn't find anything that's the same. So I'm gonna show you a little video that I actually just captured on my phone just because the lighting was a little bit better. I have this second to the bottom is actually the Opal Aurora shade. And then here I have Flicker from Cleona. I have, let's see, this one is Astral from Terra Moons, and then Phoenix from Terra Moons. I actually, at first, I thought Phoenix, like on the finger swatches, they looked a little bit closer because Phoenix has that like bright pop of that gold that I can kind of see in Opal Aurora, but it's definitely like it's more yellow dominant. And then this one down here, I've already forgotten which of which of the Halo Moons that I grabbed. Which one is this? Oh my goodness, hot mess central. Oh, that one is Zira, but I think it's Zira from Divina Cosmetics. And this one, I never realized until now, like getting zoomed in, how sparkly Zira is. Like when you look at it, it has more glitters in it than any of these others. So that was really interesting. So I don't have a dupe for that, and none of the other shades either. Like there wasn't anything right off the top of my head as I was pulling out all these palettes. We got all the palettes, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, yeah, no, there isn't anything that I'm like right off the bat. I thought, you know, I've been on the hunt for that green to pink flip. This year that's been sort of like my holy grail shade, and I still haven't found the one that I feel like is what I have in my head that I want to see. So I didn't have any that matched this one. I think that this one obviously does lean a little bit more into those golds as well. I just want a green that's just green and pink. If you have a suggestion for a multi-chrome that is like, well, I guess it would be a duochrome that's just green and pink. I want something that doesn't have quite so much gold. Let me know. I would love that. All right. Anyway, enough chatter about trying to find Holy Grail shades. Let's talk a little bit more about these and how they compare to the previous Pastel Roses. All right, as I am wiping off these swatches here, I did just want to say I did go through and do a winter shop my stash, so that's everything that I have on my Swatch today, other than the eyes, by the way, so you'll get to see that video soon. I'm hoping it worked out. I filmed a lot of it on my phone just so I could go through all of my drawers with you and my cabinet and not have to like carry around my 100-pound camera with me, so we'll see. I'm hoping that the audio is decent, so we'll see what you guys think of that one. I haven't even looked at the footage yet, but I did just want to let you know because I just pulled everything out of my little Shop My Stash tower over here, so I'm excited to share that one with you. Hopefully that'll be a fun one to see. So I have like 8 or so shadows from the Pastel Roses. This is like my Franken palette. I've got some Cleona, I have some Shine by SD, some Touch of Glam, and then these are the Pastel Roses. So I did just want to swatch a few of these just for myself to kind of like see how I feel about these. Now I'm actually going to be really curious to go through and use some of these with a glitter glue, but you know, they definitely had some different formulas here. Like you can hopefully see here, these two are definitely more of like they have a little bit more of a gritty texture, whereas this one, I almost used it in today's look on my lower lash line, but this is Red Grape, and it's definitely more of that smooth feel, almost like that Terra Moons feel, if you know what I'm saying. So honestly, I'm gonna be very curious to try a couple of those with a glitter glue and see if I get a little bit more kick in the pants from them. But compared to these newer formulas, I will say that I feel like most of these multi-chromes have that more, almost like the Divina Halo Moons feel, where it's, or at least some of the Divina Halo Moons, where it's that slightly wet flake just to be able to get that super sparkle. I didn't have any problem with them. With Dragonfly, and you probably saw it in the footage, I went through over the glitter glue first, and it was more textured sparkle than it was super metallic look, and I didn't love that, especially because this was so opaque and just like whoa. So I did go through and ended up wetting my brush and then just layered wet product over that, and it worked beautifully. It just gave it a little bit more of that like full opacity and less of the sparkle look and more of the like metallic look, if that makes sense. But then I feel like a few of these other shades, like the Carrot Cake, the Love Story, and then that Opal Multichrome, they're more of that like traditional, slightly, I mean, not powdery in a bad way, but just more of like a powder shadow. So you definitely have a couple different formulas within these, and I feel like for most brands that's very common. Like you have a few different formulas within, but just know that some of these are going to be more smooth, and then some of them are going to be that like semi-flake. It's not so much that it's like super annoying. I was actually pleasantly surprised by how well these picked up in the pan. I did try to use a bit more toothy brush just to be able to like get up some of those flakes, but they picked up out of the pan really nicely. So now that being said, all right, I think these multi-chrome shades were around the $13 mark when I got them on sale. That's, you know, kind of like a mid-range price for these. I also have to take into consideration the shipping cost, which since I was splitting it with someone, it wasn't as big of a deal. But if I was only doing an order for myself and the shipping was around $15, that does like definitely add to the cost of things. I just ordered yesterday, I just ordered on launch day some of the new Odin's Eye multi-chromes, and those were around that same price, at full price, I think. I think that those were like $13 or $14. So I'll be very curious to see, you know, I feel like I definitely got a beautiful look out of these. I think that if it's something that I have to use with a glitter glue and it's the same cost of some of the shades that I don't have to use with a glitter glue, like I never use a glitter glue with Terra Moons. I've never used a glitter glue with Divina other than some of the moonscapes that are more of that like flaky texture. I've never had to do it. So it's like that extra step isn't always something that I want to have to do. If these were like $10 and it was like, okay, well, I can get a great look with these with the glitter glue, maybe that would make it more worth it to me. So I'm not saying that I'm not happy with these. It's just I'm going to have to work with them a little bit more to be able to get the look that I prefer with them. So I'm glad that I purchased these. I'm glad that I tried out the formula. I don't feel like there's anything in here. Like maybe there are some unique colors. Like I love the Choco Pink shade. By the way, I didn't even talk about that. I don't think I did an audio clip of that look. I loved that look. It was so gorgeous. It was definitely like subtle yet shifty, and it lasted all day, especially of course with the glitter glue. It lasted beautifully. So that one I'm really glad to have. I just don't feel like there's necessarily anything else in here that is like gonna be overly unique. Although I did not end up using that like fiery orange shade yet. I'm sure I'll end up playing with these and doing some looks on Instagram. If you are curious, you can follow me at Keep Beauty Real over there. But you know, this was a good try for me. I'm glad that I stuck with a small amount of shades, which is what I tried to do with the Odenside launch too. I'm really trying to just be like, okay, let's get a flavor for these and see if you like them before you go in like and dive deep into buying a bunch of single eyeshadows. So I don't know that I gave you a definitive opinion here. They're good. They're not overly wowing. If you're already someone who enjoys using a glitter glue all the time, then I think you're going to love these because it's what you already do. I just feel like I definitely, with these multi-chromes, I will always be using them with the glitter glue, which isn't always my jam. So I hope that was helpful. I hope you at least enjoyed getting to see the swatch party, or maybe just the looks were, you know, fun to get to see if you have some similar colors or you have some of these colors. Hopefully it inspired you to pull them out. I know that I'm going to enjoy these shadows. I'm glad that I purchased colors that I didn't have major dupes for in my collection. So I think I did a good job curating my purchase. Do I feel like I'm going to run out and buy anything else from the brand? I mean, maybe not, just because I have so many single shadows and I have some brands that I know that, again, that I can just whack on quickly and get a beautiful look and not have to use a glitter glue. So those are going to be the ones that I probably steer towards. So again, I hope this was helpful. Hope it wasn't too rambly, but you know, I get going and I'm like, these are so pretty though, but it's not going to be something that I reach for all the time just because there's that extra little step. But this has inspired me though. I do have to say this has inspired me to try glitter glue with some other formulas that maybe I just haven't been loving as much, to see if that does help me out. So thank you to Pastel Roses for sort of like getting me to try the glitter glue again. So who knows, maybe now it's going to be, like I said, maybe it's going to be the thing that I do a lot more in this year and end up enjoying. We'll have to see. It's a brand new year, and maybe we've got some brand new things that we're going to start adding or taking from our makeup routine. All right, lovelies, that's going to be it. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to spend it with me, and I will see you really soon.